Hello, my name is Greg Massi, and this is episode number 46 of The Color of Air, a podcast about the musical journey. And I know I mentioned that I'm going to be releasing episodes every 2 weeks, but as I mentioned in the very first episode, coming back, last year I recorded a podcast interview with Yvette Young, probably about a month or two into quarantine. And since I was so bad about getting it out last year, I figured why wait and just prep it and get it out now. So here's a really cool, fun chat we had. It was really nice because, it was, like I said, it was like right in the beginning of quarantine. Everybody was feeling really weird and confused. And I just wanted to talk gear with somebody. And so I figured, well, Yvette likes pedals. I like pedals. Let's, have a fun little chat about pedals. And she was agreeable to it. But, what was a lot more fun was it just was nice to have a fun conversation at that time, given everything else going on. And I think, as I mentioned in the very first time I interviewed her, she's just such a bright presence. She's very funny, and it's always a true joy and pleasure to talk to her. So anyway, I don't really have much else to add here in the intro, so let's get things started by checking out the first track on Covet's most recent release, Technicolor, and this track is called Good Morning.
Good to see you too.
Oh, I'm glad we could make this work.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
sorry. I texted the wrong person.
Oh.
Uh, sorry. I texted you. I said be right back. Anyway, okay. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I mean, as okay as people can do during this time, I think. What have you been up to?
Oh, working from home. Just trying to get my studio organized. Um,
Oh, it's unending. I feel like entropy just makes it so that as soon as I organize it once, like the next day it's already just in disarray. So,
yeah, and I keep trying. Like I get these thoughts in my head. I don't know if it's the same with you, but like I focus in really intently on something I need at that moment, and so like I was like really excited to buy cables because I really needed cables, and then because I'm trying to get like a synth thing working. I'm pointing like you can see it, but I've got like synth stuff over here
uh-huh.
and my iPad. I'm trying to get like a mobile setup. I don't know. I'm just trying to distract myself with by buying stuff.
Oh, I definitely did that. I bought like clothing that I just returned. Like I bought like, ooh, I think I need like a designer dress. And then I got it. I was like, why did I buy this designer dress? I just returned it. It was just a complete waste of my time. But like it's just you get in a mindset where you're trying to like fill a vacancy somehow with consumerism
Yep.
or whatever. And then you're just like, do I even need this? Like, what? So I feel
Yeah.
you there. But cables are a great investment because they constantly break and you lose them, you
Yep.
forget them at gigs, you know.
Yeah. I know it's. Yeah. I don't know why I was so excited, but I got very excited to get new
I love
cables.
that. That's awesome though, like that you could get excitement from cables. Like I feel like that. I feel excited to go like grocery shopping. I'm like I get to decide what I get to eat this week. Like I'm so excited.
Well, I'll disagree with you there because I just went food shopping tonight, and it's I don't know how it is over you where you are, but for me it's a baffling, terrifying ordeal.
Oh no. Is
It's
it just like crowded and people not wearing masks and stuff?
sometimes it's not so much not people not wearing masks, but they have the arrows in certain lanes, like they want the traffic to move a certain way, and like no
Yeah.
one pays attention to it, and they just come zooming past you and everything like that, and I'm there with my cart like is somebody gonna try and cut me off here? And it's
Is it really crowded?
it's not really crowded. That's good. But and then it's just weird like seeing like certain things that are completely out. Like at the beginning it was like, oh, toilet paper's gone. All right, well, whatever. I don't need that. But and then like all of a sudden like the seltzer's all gone, and I'm just like, why is there certain things that just like people are just buying all of?
Yes, seltzer is very popular right now. It's a fun, quirky version of just drinking water, I guess. Uh,
People
I
want
love
to.
your dog. I always see you post pictures of your dog.
Thank you.
It's your dog, right?
Yes,
What's his name?
Bowie.
Bowie. Oh, he's beautiful. I want a dog like that one day.
Thank you. Yeah, just go to bigfluffydogs.com. That's where we got him.
Is that a real website?
Yeah, it's a
Holy
it's a
cow.
it's the name of I mean, I think it links to a couple different rescue organizations, but there's rescue organizations for any type of dog, it seems, and so we knew we wanted a Great Pyrenees, so we went through bigfluffydogs.com, and then they hooked us up with the right people
Mm.
to get it, and yeah, he's adorable and makes life a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, this whole quarantine, I've been like, I want another pet, but I'm just like, "Ugh, I'm gonna go tour and I'm gonna be like a horrible pet owner, so I might as well just restrain myself. I know it's just in the moment. Like right now, maybe I'm lonely, maybe I want like an animal companion. My duck's like not nice to me, even though I love him. So I
I
gotta
had
resist the impulse.
I had a cat like that too. Like I would be like, no, let me shower you with my love, and then he'd like scratch me and bite me, and I'm just like, no, I just want to love you.
Like, please, please let me love you.
Please, yeah,
I need
please. You don't need this, but I do.
I literally have a mean parrot. Like he loves my mom, but I'm pretty sure that if given the opportunity, he would slit my throat because he hates me. Um, I think it's just jealousy because my mom talks to me, gives me attention, and he's like, no, my mom is like his love. So he's like, I'm his competitor in his eyes. But like, I love him. He's so cute. I literally fantasize about like sedating him just so I can like pet him because he's so mean. He's so mean. He like draws blood. He twists your skin.
Oh.
Like dreadful. But he's so beautiful. I love him.
my 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 in-laws had a cockatoo,
Yeah.
and and it was in love with my father-in-law, and like so yeah, if like my mother-in-law would go to knock on his office door, it would like squawk at her, and
Oh.
she did this weird thing where when she would get into heat, she would like start doing like the dance like in front of like my father-in-law, like showing
Like
her.
trying to seduce him.
Yeah. And
She's like, this is what you could have. All this could be yours.
yeah, I know. All these feathers.
Animals are so funny.
I know. I know. So, well, you know, I was going back. I was like, oh, it's been a few years, almost a couple of years now. So I was like, crap, I gotta figure out what we need to talk. Well, I know what I want to talk about, but you know, I figure we should catch up on on the you know just the normal crap at first. But
Yeah.
so you have an album out, a new album,
Uh-huh.
Technicolor, very cool,
Yeah. Oh,
and
thank you.
lots of like cool videos.
Oh yeah, we like banged out all that shit so fast. Like we pretty much make one trip and do all of our videos at one time. So it's like we don't have to make multiple trips. It's time efficient, it's cost efficient, but it's just a lot of work. And I do all the treatments for everything, so it's like I have to like think about concepts for everything and flesh it out. And quite frankly, every time it feels like a miracle that we pull off somehow.
Well, they all came out really well, and the music is awesome. So,
Oh, thank you.
well, yeah, I see you trying out the ideas all the time on Instagram. The
Oh yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one concerned about the guitar faces they make.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I hear the sound and it makes me make a face. It's like, whoa, or like, like it's hard.
No, I know, and you never think about it at the time because obviously you're not seeing yourself. But yeah, there's been times when I've watched myself back where I just like I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
I look
I
horrible.
don't know. And you know what's even worse than guitar faces is fake guitar faces. I don't know if you've seen those on Instagram, but they're so cringy. It's like people playing like a jazz lick or like a blues lick or something, but then they're just like "Ba-da-ba-ba." Like it's just so painful. I'm just like, God, like you shouldn't have posted that. You really shouldn't have. It's like they like play something, they look at you, they look at the camera, they're like, "Bang." Like it's disgusting. Get that
Yeah.
shit out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh. I now I know what I'm gonna go look for on Instagram tonight after
Oh,
I get up.
I'll send you. I'll send you a few of my favorite. It's sickening. It's like I feel like I'm watching like a serial killer in the making, like it's the equivalent of that scene in American Psycho where he's hooking up with that prostitute
Oh
and he's
yeah,
like looking in the mirror like, yeah, I'm doing that. It's me. Like,
I I think I don't know if for me personally, I know that just it makes me cringe because I could never imagine myself having that much self-confidence in myself to where like I could convey that, you know? Like
that's good.
I just think I'd be like, like no, you don't want to no, you don't want to see this.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I feel like as much as I want you to have all the confidence in the world, I think there's like a threshold where it's
Yeah.
like when you're at the point where you're eye fucking yourself after you play like a lick, like that's when you need to stop and you need to evaluate like what you want out of life and who you want to be. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I completely agree. That's why yeah, that's why I stick to
wait,
making music in my basement.
is this being recorded?
Yeah, it is being recorded, but I can.
Leave it in. No, leave it in. Leave it
Okay,
in.
all right.
People need to know. People need to know. It's gross. Stop.
I mean, it's not going to be a video recording, so they're not going to see your interpretation of the faces. But I'm sure
Oh,
they'll.
okay.
I'm sure they know. It's kind of like. It's also kind of like you feel like it's the kind of face like a guitar player at Guitar Center would make, like when he's trying out. Especially because I used to work at a Guitar Center, and I remember.
Oh, I'm
I
so
remember.
sorry.
It's okay. It was many. It was 20 years ago now that I think about it, and that makes me feel old. But it was my first job when I moved to Boston. But yeah, like just it's it's just it's a thing. It's real, and I never. If I'm trying out something at a guitar store, I like want to be as not noticed as possible. Like I just like I'm like turned up just a little bit, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I can hear what it sounds like. But I never want to draw attention to myself. But there are people who just like just bring it on
Yeah, I
themselves.
know. Some people are literally like they play something and I see them look around. They're like, "Did anyone just hear what I did?" Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I just played the guitar. Like, so I feel like some people have that attitude where they're like, "Oh, nobody reacted. I guess I should turn louder."
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there's one thing because I worked at Guitar Center in Boston, and we used to have every now and again certain Boston celebrities would come in and things like that. And they never used to. They used to be very unassuming. But one day we had do you know the band AC?
uh,
Sorry, anal cunt.
oh,
Not to offend your
right.
ears, but
Uh, no, 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 it's fine. I've heard plenty worse.
yeah,
I do know of AC,
okay.
um, but I
So
don't know their music. Like I haven't.
okay, honestly, it was mostly about the song titles because they just
Gotcha.
had obnoxious, purposefully obnoxious, irritating song titles. But the main guy from that band, Seth Putnam, came in one day when I was working, and he sat at the Marshall stacks, the front of the store, which I had lovingly put together. And he basically, so he was wearing like sweatpants and like a grease stained shirt, and he just got there and and because they're like a grindcore band, he literally was just like making like grindcore guitar noises like at like full
Dope.
volume in the middle of the store. It was like
Oh my God.
the anti shred god guy who would come in.
There's types. There's like a thrash metal dude that comes into our local guitar center. But I like at first I was like, man, he's annoying. But then I started to like really deeply respect and like love him because he would just come in every couple of days a week. Like I don't know if he has a schedule or something, if he'd come in, just thrash, like full on like head banging, like leg propped up on the stool, like just totally rocking out, like super full volume. And, at first I was like, this guy's just showing off. But at a certain point, I think like he was genuinely just doing it for himself. Maybe he has like a wife and kids. They don't want to hear that shit. So
Yeah,
maybe like Guitar Center is his like one fortress where he can just escape away and thrash all he wants for hours and hours.
his safe space.
Yeah, his safe guitar space. Everyone needs one of those. Actually, I was just thinking the other day during quarantine, actually, I was like, I am so lucky that I live with my parents currently. Um, and I'm so lucky to have that and to have my parents not be really, really annoyed at like what I'm playing. Because I think if I had a partner or something, or if I like lived with a roommate, I would be the most single-handed annoying roommate in the history of roommates because I literally just play one thing like 100 times and then I'm like, oh no, and then I tweak the tone just like slightly and then I play it another 100 times. And yeah, I feel really sorry for like anyone who has to live with me in the future.
Yeah, just Well, yeah, just get it out there now in case anybody out there who's listening is like event ends up living with you in some fashion. Just understand what
Yeah.
they're getting into.
Yeah. Like, I'm so sorry. I'll pay an extra fee, like, at what, aggravation fee for like rent, maybe an
Yeah.
extra 100 on top of rent just to, cover the cost of whatever therapy you have to go get because of me.
I miss having your perspectives on things because I remember that I very much enjoy your perspective on on all these different things.
I'm just a clown. Like, I just clown on everything. Laughing is like super important. It's like
Yeah.
the only way I can stay sane. Like, with all the shit, all the bullshit, all the
Oh yeah,
negative
totally.
stuff happening, like, just make fun of it.
Yeah. That's all. That seriously. That's all. Yeah. That's all you can do. Um,
Yeah.
well, so yeah. So I figured, it'd be good because because you like gear. I like gear. I'm a big gear nerd. Luckily, you can't see my pile of pedals over on my coffee table back there. But I figured you'd be the perfect person to talk to about nerdy gear stuff. Would that be correct?
I hope I'm your gal.
Well, one thing is, this is more that I was super excited to hear about this. You, out of anybody I've known, have your own signature guitar now?
It's nuts. I feel like what did I do to deserve such an honor?
Well, that's very cool, though. I mean, congratulations. That's awesome.
I felt like it was a prank. I felt like when Ibanez told me that I'd get a signature guitar, I was like Ashton Kutcher is gonna step out and be like, "Oh, suck, you suck." Like, you really thought that we'd give you a signature? Like, but like, I don't know. Now that it's like set in stone, it's on websites. I'm like, holy cow! Like, yeah. And Ashton is nowhere to be seen, so I think I'm in the clear.
Have you
It's
seen it
amazing.
seen it in the wild at all at any stores?
Not yet because COVID kind of just had everything shut
Yeah.
down. But I mean, I don't think it's even out yet. I think it's still on pre-order. I know it's been
Oh,
on
okay.
pre-order forever, but yeah, people have been itching to get one. Oh, that reminds me, I have to make a video for someone. Sorry, that's just to me. I'm talking to myself. Uh, yeah, I've seen it on like websites like Reverb, Guitar Center, Sweetwater, Anderton's. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's the you know that's the dream to get your own signature model, but that's very cool, and I also think it looks really cool. So
Oh, thank
you
you.
know, I'll have to pick one up maybe at some point. Set aside
Oh,
some
wait,
money.
let me know. Let me know.
All
Talk
right.
to me
Oh,
if you'd like one.
yeah. I always see a bunch of different posts. You're always playing with new different pedals, which I find very awesome. And so I just kind of wanted to ask you. Um, so you have a very extensive pedal board for your live shows. I've seen that. Um, Now at home, is it like a different thing? Do you have like tons of pedals you just don't? Obviously, ones that you just like, not necessarily, just don't fit on the board, and you just like,
Yeah, my live board is essentially whatever I record with in the studio, so I can actually replicate that perfectly live. Um, and it's a lot of pedals that are not like what I call one trick pony pedals, where it's like it does this like because it's like space is a valuable commodity when it
yes,
comes to constructing your life board, and I have to be really efficient and pragmatic with how I use things. So I'd say that like my live board is a very deliberate collection of things that I use to emulate the exact studio tones that I got that can also do double duty if one pedal like craps out. I'm like, okay, well I can like use this as like my reverb instead because it also has like a reverb setting or whatever.
yeah,
So it's like that. But then at home, I kind of like it's like my exploration tools. I have a rack that I'm looking at right now that I just organized. That, thanks to entropy, is in a state of disarray again. Um, it's like a bunch of different more wacky pedals. Like off the top of my head, I see like a Earthquaker Pyramids, Chase Bliss Mood, um, like a lot of the other Maris stuff that it didn't make it onto my board. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like things I use to just inspire myself. Lately, I've been kind of trying to write. I used to write a riff and then use a pedal to like color it, but now I kind of sometimes just plug into a pedal and see what it makes me write. And I find that those two processes yield very different results, which is kind of exciting. Because every guitarist after you play for a while, you kind of fall into your comfort zone. You start doing the same shit, and sometimes I find that when I start with a weird tone, I have to like write around it, and I have to be more conscious of like what I'm working with, and like if I use a crazy fuzz or something, I can't be really notey. Same goes for a delay or a reverb or something. Well, I can, but more often than not, you would like clarity. So it kind of makes you hold back and also go for intervals that I normally wouldn't really go for. So it's exciting.
Take me through your before COVID shut you down, the current the last most recent live board you had. What were you rocking?
Oh, we're looking at it right now from over here. I see. So my favorite reverb ever, the Maris Mercury 7. Um, I use that a lot on the studio. It just has like, it's a really excellent sounding reverb, just very lush. And I haven't even tried it stereo, and I'm really excited to do that because I feel like it's gonna blow my mind. But it has this cool pitch vector option where it has like an octave down, pitch up, fifth, shimmer. So I think it's like just a really versatile reverb in itself.
Okay.
And then I have my looper. I usually use a Ditto looper live just because it's very easy to use. But currently I have the EHX 360. I think it's called 360.
Okay.
And I have that just because there's a save bank, and I've been using it to like store ideas. And then I have Walrus Audio Julia, which is a chorus, and then I have the Caroline Somersault, which is another kind of like chorus modulation pedal. But I use them for like different things. Like one of them I use for like a fluttery lo-fi sound, and the other I use for like a very traditional chorus sound, like police tones or something.
Yeah.
And then I got the two delays. I have the Earthquaker Avalanche Run. I use it for the reverse delay. I love it. And then I have the Carbon Copy Deluxe, nice sounding analog delay. And then I have Longsword. It's by Electronic Audio Experiments. It's like a nice gain with built-in EQ.
Okay.
I really love what it does to my clean tone. And then also the Amaterasu Bright preamp, and I use it to push my clean tone to make it break up and to like boost mids a little bit. So and then I have my Warden. It's another Earthquaker pedal, and I have a 10-band EQ from MXR.
Oh, okay.
I just want to jump in to say thank you for listening, and here are the ways that you can support us. Subscribe to The Color of Air on your favorite podcast app like Apple, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, and be sure to rate and review. Also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/retcongreg. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/Ret Con Industries, where we have 3 monthly subscription tiers of $1, $5, and $10. Depending on which tier you choose, you will have your name listed in the credits for every future podcast and music release, as well as access to bonus audio and video content, Bandcamp discounts, and exclusive merchandise through the Ret Con Swag Club. Finally, please check out all the music up for sale at retconindustries.bandcamp.com. And now, back to the podcast.
I bet you regret that question. You're like, oh my God, stop talking.
No, I really don't, because because I saw you live, I think last year in Boston, and you know, it was really awesome. And yeah, I'm the guy at shows who tries to go and like in between bands, like I'll like go up and just kind of like make sure no one's looking and just kind of peek over at pedal boards because I'm you know, I'm curious to see what people are doing. And I know that, you know, so live you use a Vox amp, right? Correct.
Uh-huh, AC30.
AC30. And so because I so you don't, I mean, obviously you're not going for the full metal sound that I usually have to worry about. But so
Mhm.
you just kind of use the subtle distortions, is that, or like the pushed amp kind of vibe when you need to get a little more grit in your.
Yeah, I'm all about tube breakup. Oh, I should mention, I forgot. Sometimes I have a ZVEX pedal on there. I either use the Mastertron Fuzz or I use the Boxer Rock. It's another gain pedal. So yeah, but yeah, I love the sound of push tubes. Hot freaking tubes being cranked. Why is that so sensual? Like,
Well, you're almost kind of fast forwarding to one of my other questions that I was going to have about horrible sounding pedal names, but
oh man.
we'll get to that. But that's awesome. So and so yeah, so when you're in the studio, do you kind of go? So when you were writing and working on the album in the studio, were you kind of, did you already have like the pedals planned, or is there anything you do in the studio you're like, oh, let me just see if this works and if that'll enhance the sound or anything like that, or is it kind of like set before you go into the studio what tones you're kind of going for?
I'd say like a bit of both. I know I've said that for a lot of my answers, but there's really like I don't know. I can sit here and plan everything like a total control freak, but then I think one of the most exciting things about going to the studio is just like being inspired on the spot. And sometimes you don't know like what you I don't know, like you have a vague idea of what's going to happen, but then you don't, maybe it's like very nebulous in your mind and you experiment with stuff. Like I find it actually happens a lot with pedal orderings because there's rules to like how you should like chain your effects, right? But I think sometimes really cool things can happen when you break those rules, and it can do really weird things to your sound, and it can create things that people can't deconstruct. So I like that.
And so you haven't gotten to the point where you have one of those the pedal board like, I don't know, like they have the preset
Oh,
thing where you can, so you can like, so instead of having to like foot dance with everything, you can just kind of press one button, it switches on certain pedals. You haven't gone that route yet?
I'm getting there, but like for now, I enjoy live DDR where I'm just dancing around my board. I think it kind of looks cool. I don't know. I'll do it as long as I can.
Okay. And so now that you've been home, excuse me, now that you've been home writing and everything, have you, is there anything new that might be making its way onto the board? Anything new that's inspiring you?
Yeah, actually, where is it? I have a feeling it's behind my laptop. I just did this demo for this Ibanez Echo, Echo Shifter. Um, it's right here. It's really cool. This thing's so versatile. Like you can make it sound like it's a delay pedal.
Wow.
Echo pedal. It's got an it's analog digital hybrid. So, and it's true analog. So you can get it to do like these warm, like little echoey things, but on the digital, you can get like really clear repeats, like I don't know what I'd hear like uh, and like on a DD3 or something, and then you can up. It has a slider, so you kind of feel like you're like a DJ or something. And then what else? Oh, you can make it sound like a chorus. You can make it sound like slapback kind of reverb. Um, and you can also get it to self like arpeggiate, which is really weird because on the digital mode, basically, so there's a modulation thing. You can have it off or on, which I really appreciate. And when you have the modulation on and the depth all the way up, and you have it on digital mode, I feel like it's it can't make the modulation sound really smooth, like a slew of notes. So it actually does like kind of like a square wave sounding thing, and it
Okay.
actually like self arpeggiates. So it hits every note and like it does like a weird. It goes through a weird sequence. So
Okay.
it's fun to just generate noise. I haven't really found a way to do it musically yet. Well, one way to do it musically, but it's just kind of like a quirky sound. I don't know. I always try to find like a really traditional application of the pedal, and then try to find something really weird and wacky that maybe someone would not want to use. But I like a challenge. I'm like, I want to try to make it musical. Sorry,
That's
you probably
awesome.
didn't want a rundown of the pedal. This is the thing I'm excited about
No, that's
recently.
this is exactly what I was looking for.
Oh, okay,
I
perfect.
I need
Sorry.
I need someone to talk gear with. It's no, but it's interesting. It reminds me the way it looks. It reminds me of the Moger Foger pedals. Have you seen? You
Oh, it
know?
does look like that. It
Yeah.
also has a slider. Am I right?
Some of them do. My particular, I'm looking at mine. I only have one of them. And I don't use it live ever. Um, yeah, I got the ring modulator, and that does not have that. Um,
Oh, okay.
and I'll say the story. It's I only bought that pedal, and I can't believe I saved up to get it, but I only bought it pedal because it's the pedal that the guy uses for the voice of the Daleks on Doctor Who.
I did
And
not know that.
yeah, I was watching like a behind the scenes. The guy's like, "Oh yeah, they used to do all these crazy things." He's like, "I just have a pedal now," and I don't know if you can see on my. I do have a inflatable Dalek in the back. It's kind of a Doctor Who
Oh, I
household
see.
here. uh,
I take it you're a fan.
just a little bit. Yeah. If you could see the rest of my studio, you realize that this is the only room in the house I'm allowed to decorate because
Aw.
it's full of all Iron Maiden posters, Funko Pops. Um, yeah, it's like my teenage bedroom.
I feel that. No, that's cool. I'm probably not going to be allowed to decorate. If I end up living with like a partner or something, I'm probably going to not be allowed to decorate because I'm like, ooh, we should put up skulls. Like we should put up like dead people skulls. Like
Dead people skull. Yeah. Um, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I found this dried up bat outside. Let's like hang it up. Like
Well, it'll look cool.
for those listening, I'm not into like violence against animals or anything, but I do have a soft spot for like I guess going to museums and looking at taxidermy, things like that. I just think it's interesting to see things preserved
Yeah,
for till the end of time or
I agree.
whatever.
Uh,
And there's something really funny about bad taxidermy as well.
yeah.
So yeah.
Now, in your travels on tour and everything, have you been to the Mutter Museum yet? In
Oh my God. The first time I went to Philly, I was like, guys, we're all waking up at 4 a.m. because I need to go to this museum. Like, you don't understand. I need it to live, to breathe, to feel. And I'm just kidding. But like, I went and I was so excited. I have a couple of photos of me just like beaming ear to ear, posing next to like, I don't know, like a skeleton, a conjoined
yeah,
skeleton
yeah,
that I thought was really cool. They have some pretty gnarly things in there. I remember one thing that made my friend feel ill was they had this preserved body of this woman who died, but I guess something about the settings that she passed away in preserved all her fat. So it was literally her whole body, but it was all fat, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's gnarly. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would go again. When I go to Philly, it's Mutter Museum and then Blackbird Pizza because they have really good vegan pizza
Oh,
and
okay,
vegan buffalo wings.
okay. So you haven't tried the Rocky Steps yet?
What's the Rocky Steps?
Oh, my a friend of mine who lives in Philadelphia hates it. It's the Philadelphia Museum of Art, like in the movie Rocky, when he's like, it's a big training montage and he's running through Philly and all the kids are following him, and the big crescendo is that he runs up the steps of the museum and like starts like dancing around or whatever on top of it. And so now people go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art and just like run up the steps to say they're Rocky.
Oh no, look, you know what? My confession is I actually have never seen Rocky.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
Um, Also, actually good. Okay. I thought for a second I thought Blackbird was in Pittsburgh and I got it confused, but it is indeed in Philly, and I am not a liar.
yeah, you didn't want like all the Philadelphia people being like, "What the?"
Yeah, right? Like or Pittsburgh like, "Hey!" Like
So the one thing I have to say about like, so I used to love when we played in Philly. I always loved going to Philly, and I remember once we went to, and was it Philly? I always confuse if it's Philly or someplace else, so I might be wrong. But I seem to remember it being Philly that we went on the one place, and on one corner was a place that was Ray's original big slice pizza or something, and then right across the street was the real Ray's original.
that is an attack
Yeah,
right there. That is a literal attack.
and we didn't actually eat there, so I can't really say whether or not it was good or not.
Wow.
But I was just like, wow, that's you're taking that beef seriously. The-
That's like if I opened my own like I don't know, store. I don't know what you call it, like a Target or Walmart. What would you call that kind of store? A super center, superstore,
Something like
super
that, yeah. It's not a
super
convenience store; it's too big. but
big
but
old
yeah,
honkin' store. Yeah, I don't know. It's like if I opened a place called like Better Walmart or something.
yeah. Not sketchy Walmart.
Walmart for not posers.
Well, I will say though, it's funny, as unfortunately funny as sometimes Walmart stuff can be. I will say that when you're on tour and you don't have a place to stay, you can sleep in Walmart parking lots for free. Like they
That is
allow
not.
overnight. So I give Walmart credit for that, you know.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, like as awful as like Bain Corp and all of those places, as awful as it is, I still do get excited when I go into a Target because to me it means like I get a chance to stock up on like clean underwear if I ran
Yep.
out, or get toothpaste if I ran out, get shampoo if I ran out. Like to me, it's just like, oh man, like I can get all the provisions that I need, and it's air conditioned.
Yeah, that's also very important if you, depending on when
Yeah,
you're touring and where you are.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Florida summer.
yeah, been there.
Yeah.
Uh, plenty of times. Um, so, all right, getting back to the nerdy gear talk too. Uh, because I don't know, I find this a lot. Like I find there's a lot of pedals that I do find give me, inspiring tones or whatever, or help me create ideas and things like that. But either I can't justify putting them on the pedal board, or there's like a couple that have like they seem very fragile to me compared, like I like pedals that can withstand, my stupid dumb big feet smashing them. Are there any are there any pedals that you that really kind of like inspired you or whatever, but it just wasn't practical to put on the board because, especially like you said, if they're a one trick pony, like they won't really help with anything else.
Yeah. Like I remember one time, well, my bass player was telling me a story about how he was really excited to see the Mars Volta or whatever. Um, the Mars Volta or whatever. No, I didn't mean that in a sassy way. I just meant like the Mars Volta. Sorry, that came across really weird. But yeah, I guess one of them had a rainbow machine on his board, and my bass player David, he was just like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what he uses that for." And then he waited the whole set, and then there's this one transition where he made a bunch of noise, and that's what he used the rainbow machine for, and never again. So I just like I feel like it's such like a blue ball. You're just like, come on, use it again, like. But so I don't have any pedals like that on my board. I used to, but then space is a very valuable commodity. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Uh, hmm. Autobit. I love the Autobit. It's so fun. There's this like feature that kind of like does like a delayed stutter thing that I use rhythmically, and it's like it sounds chiptune and really like playful, but I definitely like don't want I'm not Anamanaguchi. I don't want to sound like have all my songs sound like Nintendo music. So I feel like I don't want to put that on my board. Plus it's the knobs are kind of sensitive. So I feel like I am an aggressive stomper such as like yourself. So um I definitely, I stomp and knobs like jostle around and I accidentally engage like three pedals at once. So that it's
Yep.
just kind of a nightmare if I do that. So I've gotten to a point where my shoe shopping is based off of how likely I am to engage four different pedals at one time wearing the shoes. Like I have so many cute boots. I'm like, oh, these boots are so sick and like they're so cool, but I'll never be able to bring them on tour because number one, I'm gonna just eat shit on stage in these heeled cowboy boots, but also I'm gonna like put a crater in my board and engage like all of my pedals at once. So yeah, uh, they should make pedal. You know the best pedal shoes actually are the stupid. Sorry, I shouldn't call them stupid. Someone might like them who's listening to this. No offense. Those toe shoes, those like running
Yeah,
toe
yeah,
shoes.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like those are great for operating board because you can use your toes to like spin the not spin to adjust the knobs and you can like use your tippy toe to like click that one thing, turn modulation on, off. You can like fade your loop out with your toe. I've had to do that. But yeah, toe shoes should be rebranded as pedal shoes.
Yeah, I feel like you could have a pretty strong market for that with with all the guitar players out there. I feel like there's a bunch of people that would probably invest in that if they felt it could make their performance better.
I'm actually probably gonna buy a pair just to see what it's like. I don't want to be all talk. Like I want to like be able to back up what I'm saying. So
That's amazing. Let me know how that goes. If it's
thank you. I'll let you
yeah,
know.
I recently had to retire the um, everything's hooked up, so I can't pull it in front of me. But the Strymon timeline, like I was using for a while, and I just found that it's like super impractical for
Mm.
live performances because
Oh,
the way
it's huge.
it's huge, and also the way you switch it is like to switch between banks, you have to hit two buttons at once, and so it's like there's a like you said, there's a million times I'll hit the wrong bank, I'll hit accidentally like hit the mix knob, and the delay is up super loud. It's like
I know.
so it's relegated to just studio use now for my synths.
Yeah, I have my pedals sorted by studio tools and like live tools. Some of the Chase Bliss stuff, I love it. It's great, but like definitely I think it's a bit complicated sometimes for live. Like it's fine if you put it to one setting, but like definitely I don't know, some of like yeah, some of their gear I feel like is it's so thorough, like you can really customize everything about it. And I think that's what makes it such a great studio tool. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, I think there should be a rule that tap tempo always has to be on the same side on every delay because I have two delays right next to each other. The avalanche one, the tap tempo I believe is on the right and the engage is on the left. And then the carbon copy is right next to it and it's switched. Like tap is on the left, engage is on the right. So when I'm live, I get really set in tapping on one side. So there's been so many times where I literally am just turning my delay on and off and I'm like, what? Oh shit. I'm just like, I'm not tapping in a rhythm right now. I'm literally just making weird like noises. But yeah, I feel like there should be like a universal pedal law where it's like you gotta have your tap on the right, the left side, decide.
Make a decision and stick with it.
Yeah, stick with
Um,
it.
so, so I also came up with this really, really dorky question, and um, being that I first ran into you at NAM, and you've been a regular there, and you've presented there and done everything. Um, Have you met Andy from ProGuitarShop.com /reverb.com?
I haven't met him, but I appreciate him and what he's done,
He's my
and
favorite.
I appreciate his vulnerability by exposing his clean tone for us. So, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I feel like other guitar players I know, like we know, like, oh, have you watched Andy's videos? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or or they compare it to, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
I feel like he's the most recognizable, even though
yeah.
it's like, like all the other um kind of YouTube guys who always are doing different stuff, but I
He
always
is a true pedal celebrity. I definitely think a lot of people get really excited when I don't think I've seen him before. I haven't seen Andy in the wild, but like I definitely have seen him online and respect.
And have you ever tried out the poop pedal?
I didn't even know that was a thing. Does it make your tone all
Grabby.
muddy, crappy?
I
Sounds
don't
like
know.
crap.
Yeah, I should send you the link. Yeah, it literally sounds crappy. Um,
I
but
bet they have fun with their slogans. This pedal smells.
yeah.
This pedal stinks.
Oh, you want to get the brown sound, don't you?
So many gross puns.
What else do you have going on? What else? So you're writing for the new record. Do you have any other secret projects in the works that
I'm
you?
trying to. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
no, no,
didn't.
no.
You
Go
didn't
ahead.
even finish. Here, I'm just like so excited to like answer. I'm just
That's fine.
cutting you off.
Go right
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I haven't. I feel like all my solo stuff always gets put on the back burner because I always have to devote all of my energy to writing for Covet. But now that we have an album out, it's so funny. I have two songs already written for the next record, like fully, um, which I am excited for. Already ready to move on. Um, but I have a solo acoustic record that I'm trying to learn. Well, I taught myself how to record during quarantine, and
Oh,
it's been totally just game changing for me. And I've been like collaborating with people, and I'm trying to maybe DIY record my next acoustic record just as a learning experience for myself, and also so I can be a really annoying control freak and not get on anyone's nerves for that, because I'm just stuck with me and my lonesome self. So there's that, and then I have a piano record that I want to also finish. I have two songs partially written, but again, it's like time. I just have to find the time.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. I feel like everybody is trying to find some sort of project they can work on at home during quarantine because no one's really getting out to studios anymore. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I've been writing stuff at home. I know Toby has been writing stuff at home, and other friends of mine did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've recorded a
That's
solo for Toby's thing at home, and
that's awesome. You had a project you sent me. It was like piano based
yeah,
stuff, or
yeah.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I've got new agey piano stuff, sort of, and also I've been doing live Twitch streams every Sunday, and
Oh, I'm so nervous about streaming. I just feel like I'm gonna say something fucked up, like online.
oh
I
yeah,
don't know. I'm scared.
uh, you know, yeah, I can see that. I mean, for me, it's like I'm more mortified when I mess up, if I'm because what I
Oh,
decided was I wanted to start doing ambient music or like you were teaching yourself to record. Like I've always been like I can do ambient music, but I never actually get out there and do it. And part of me wants to be able to play solo live at some point. Just to perform more when playing live if that ever comes back again. But
it will. I believe in it.
yeah, me too. But yeah, so I started doing I started with some like ambient guitar stuff with alternate tunings and lots of delays and shimmers and reverbs, and uh, and then I started moving on to synth stuff. I've been really getting into trying to teach myself how to do synth stuff better.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's kind of developing a skill. I learned how to record. I made a quiche for the first time. I love quiche. It is excellent. I made a really nice veggie quiche. I started working out. exercising,
Yeah.
boxing. I took up boxing.
Yeah, same here. I just got a heavy bag in my.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pointing like it's in the background. Again, my room is completely dark here, so I'm like, yeah, over in the basement,
Wait, question. Can you just get those shipped
Yes.
too? Like, is it really
Actually,
expensive?
you probably could. I didn't. I bought it online through Dick's Sporting Goods, and I just did curbside delivery.
Oh, that's smart. I should go. Ooh, I wonder if my local sports store carries them. I would love to
They,
have one at home just so I could practice.
oh, it's a good way to get rid of aggression.
Yeah, I've definitely found that, and it's like fun for me to try to, I don't know, just do one thing in a meditative way, like just to keep on doing the same combination or something and try to get really accurate and deliberate. So,
Well,
yeah.
my thing too is I used to belong to a boxing gym, like a not a I don't want to say like not a real boxing gym, but a boxing. I call it a boxing gym for people who don't really want to get punched in the face because you don't
Hmm.
actually spar with people. It's just more like classes and everything, and all the music was just like super techno remixes and stuff. And I was like, well, when I get my gym, I'm gonna make my own mix, and it's not gonna be this crap. And so I probably had a lot more fun putting together a workout mix that I could use to box to.
Oh man, I made a workout mix recently. It was like all 80s-ish, like synthy
Yes.
music. I don't know why, but that kind of stuff, it just gets me hyped. I'm just like,
Yeah,
yeah, like
whatever works.
go defeat the boss, like it's
Well,
cool.
I do want to say thank you again for taking the time to talk. It's always a pleasure talking with you, and this has been fun. I really.
Oh, likewise. Let me know when it comes out. I was gonna do something after that. Oh, I was gonna buy pedal shoes. Sorry, I'm gonna call them pedal shoes now.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy a pair of pedal shoes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and have a great, safe rest of the quarantine for you and your family.
Of course, you too, Greg.
All right.
You take care.
You too. All right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.